What's going on, guys? This is Gainz Gaming. Today I'm talking about Shajar al-Dur and why I am planning on investing in her for my next archer commander. Now right now I run 5 different pairings and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to run for my 6th March, and I decided that I wanted to run another archer commander. I'll go over the different pairings I am currently using and then talk you through my process as to why I am choosing Shajar for my 6th March. Now, right now, I run 2 infantry, 2 cavalry, and 1 archer commander. Now, I will go through these pairings right now. My first infantry march is William Wallace and Luce. This, in my opinion, is the best march in the game, without a shadow of a doubt. This is the best march. If you're going to run one march in the open field, it is 1000% William Wallace, Luce. No questions. My second infantry march is Guan Yu and Scipio Prime. Now, in my opinion, this is the second best infantry march if you are running William Wallace and Luce. There are a ton of different pairings you can run with infantry right now, as it is one of the best open field troop types in 2024. But in my opinion, the second best infantry march if you're running Wallace and Luce is then Guan and Scipio. Now for cavalry, my first march I'm running is Joan of Arc Prime and Nevsky. A lot of people ask me literally every single time I'm live streaming, why aren't you using Nevsky primary? Why are you using Joan of Arc primary? And the reason why is because she takes less skill damage. She stays on the field longer. Now, yes, you are going to do more one-on-one damage if you're using Nevsky, but when you are in the open field, if you are doing more than just one-on-one, Joan of Arc Prime is by far the better commander to put in front of Nevsky rather than Nevsky primary, Joan of Arc secondary. So if you are using them in the open field in a murder ball situation, Joan of Arc Prime is the better option to use as the primary. For my second cavalry march, I'm using Hukabing and William I as my second cav march. Now William, I do have at 5551. I do not have him expertised. I think this is a great way to run William. I don't think you have to expertise him. Is he better expertised? Sure, but do you have to? Absolutely not. That is why I enjoy running William, and running him with Hukabing is a very, very good pairing. If I was only going to run one cav march, I would then be running Joan of Arc Prime and Hukabing. In my opinion, this is the best one march you can run for cavalry. Yes, it does suck taking out Nevsky, but if you are only running one cav march, you're most likely not running more than 3 marches, which in that case, Nevsky you're losing a lot of utility with. So running Hukabing and Joan is probably the better option if you're only running one cav march, because then you're inferred to run less than 3 total marches, probably 1 of each troop type. But for me, I'm running the Joan Nevsky and the Hukabing and William. And for my archers, I'm currently running Zhu Liang and Herman Prime for my main archer march. Now, I was very happy with how Herman did in my last KVK. Very, very happy that I expertised him, but I had to bench my Boudica in order to do that. And Boudica, I have been very public about this. I have regretted my investment into Boudica because I honestly just hate her as a commander. Like, not gonna lie, I don't think that she is worth it whatsoever. Pretty much every single time I use Boudica Prime in the open field, I would trade either barely positive or extremely negative. It was never really super positive unless it was like a 5v1 situation, then she would do pretty well. But obviously any commander is going to do very well in a 5v1 situation. But when I was just running her in the open field, I was just not really seeing the value from Boudica Prime, which is why I don't recommend many people to use her, because she's just not very good in my opinion. I am also I don't really love archers, which is why a lot of people are surprised I'm planning on running that 6th March as an archer. But in my opinion, having a 2-2-2 balance between all the troop types is very favorable. That way I don't have to have like 1.2 million cavs at all times in order to field my marches. I need to have a mix of all 3 troop types, which in my opinion is much better. Now, what I was hoping for with Shajar coming out, it was that she was going to be paired well with Boudica. And what we are finding out is that there really just is no synergy there, because what people thought with Shajar is that anytime she was healed, whether it was her or the person she was paired with, that she would do active skill damage, because in her skill, every time she gets healed, she does damage. But what we found out in testing is that she only does damage when she herself heals. So that synergy with Boudica Prime with her healing factor is not actually going to be triggering the active skill damage from Shajar, unfortunately. Otherwise, like Shajar and Richard I would be extremely overpowered, for example. But Shajar, I am planning on running her. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to run her at 5551 or expertise her. We'll have to see. I need to see some more testing with that, just kind of see if it's worth that expertise. I'm kind of leaning that way because I do have plenty of gold heads. I have just under 1100 gold heads. So by the time I get to use her, I'll probably have about, 1200, 1300 gold heads to be able to expertise her. So for me, that's my plan with Shajar. Obviously, like the first fight in KVK, I won't really even be using her because I'll only have 5 marches at that point in pretty much every scenario. So for me, she's going to be a later KVK stage commander when I can run 6 marches. Now, what is my plan for pairing Shajar? Because just like I said, she is not going to be having very much synergy with Boudica. And honestly, like that pairing just isn't going to be good because you have no AoE in this. Like I said before, every time I use Boudica, she traded very, very negatively. And so what is my plan? I am planning on bringing back good old YSG. I think that breaking up my Zeuge and Herman is just not a good idea. I don't love that idea. And so I am planning on running YSG with my Shajar. Now, do I want to run her primary or secondary? I most likely want to run her primary because I think running YSG as a primary is just too big of a target. And so in my opinion, I think running Shajar is going to be better. She does have the skill tree, which is very, very good. I think that's going to be good enough for running with YSG. Because, obviously they both have the skill tree. So pretty much the same ability. She also has the versatility, which obviously is complete crap, but she is archer and skill, which is really all you really need for an open field when it comes to your archers, because it's the same as Zeuge. Now, one thing I have also considered is Asher Bonapel. Now, I've kept him on summon here. I did win a Mightiest Governor with him. And so I've just been kind of holding on to this like, okay, do I want to invest into Asher? But the way I've been looking at it is if you are looking at building like one Archer March, I mean, I think Shajar is going to be, something that you could consider, because one thing that you have to consider is, well, when we saw like smite damage come into game with Luce, we then saw William Wallace, which paired very, very, very well with Luce and became absolute meta. Not that Luce wasn't meta in the first place, but basically we saw that introduction to smite damage and they kept on rolling with that. So are we going to see more of this archer healing and true damage in the future? I think yes. But obviously that is a pretty big gamble to run. And personally, I wouldn't do that. I would stick with what is very, very good right now, which is that Zeuge and Herman. I don't think that if you're running one Archer March that you're using Shajar. I think she is a second or third March at best. But for me, running that second March, I really have 2 options. I could, not invest in her at all and save my gold heads and run my Boudica Prime and YSG. I absolutely could do that. But I've done that before and it's not very good. So I think running Shajar could be very good with YSG, or I could go for Asher. But I think in the long run, investing into Shajar is going to be better for my gold heads rather than investing into Asher, because I think that Asher will be replaced far before replacing Shajar, just because she is a much newer commander, which in most cases, pretty much all cases, investing in the newer commander is the better idea because they have more longevity. Even though Asher is a great open field commander, even though he is meant for rallying, he still is great in the open field and even a great option with Shajar. And so that's one thing that I have considered as well, but I don't want to invest 1400 gold heads into these 2 commanders because, if Asher gets replaced next year, then all those gold heads go to waste and I can no longer invest into any other commanders. Even though I am very happy with where I'm at right now with all my commanders, I do think that Shajar is going to be the better investment long term, which then with my YSG, I'm then able to go into the museum and unlock his extra skill, because currently I have him at level 2 out of 3. And so if I do get his 3rd relic, which I will plan on doing, that will gain me an additional 7% skill damage, which will be absolutely fantastic. So as of right now, that is my plan, but I want to hear what you guys think about this. If you think this is a good idea, or if you just don't like Shajar. Obviously, like I've been thinking about this for quite a while. I did spin her wheel all the way to level 70. So I have put some investment in her already. I've not yet summoned her because I don't need her for a little while. So, I'm just waiting on it. Obviously planning on spinning the next couple wheels as well. No rush in expertising her for me right now, just because I won't even be able to use her this KVK most likely. And so let me know what you guys think about her. If you are planning on investing into Shajar, or if you think that she is going to be, a flop, because obviously we've had new commanders come in that completely flop. Like in my opinion, when the new cavalry came into game, I was like, guys, do not invest into Belly Prime because he is not going to be good. And sure enough, he is not that good. I don't think that he is worth investing into unless you are a whale that swarms everything. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you think Shajar is going to be worth it, or if you think this is a horrible idea. I'm excited to hear what you guys think down below, and have a great rest of your day.